Well, hello boys and girls, I am Calum McMillan. As Euan said, I graduated from the digital journalism course at Strathclyde, and about 6 months before that was when I first picked up a camera, and basically I started taking pictures because I wanted to, and I've never studied photography at all. So if anybody here has done any classes in photography, you're about 500 light years ahead of me. What I'm going to do is talk about how I've worked since I've picked up a camera. I'm doing it entirely self-taught. So that's just an example photograph. And my terrible watermark, but unfortunately that's essential. Right, so here's how I started out. I got some gear because I wanted a camera. After that, I took lots of photos with the gear I had, and then the step 3 was to repeat step 1 and 2 continuously, and so far I've not reached bankruptcy or artistic satisfaction, so I'm going to keep going. But that's the only way you can really do it. You can go to school and learn stuff, and you get lots of kids to go to college and they learn a composition and they learn how to use their Lightroom presets, and everybody's photos look the same. The best way to learn any kind of creative I think is to go out and keep doing it. The only reason I've developed a style that people now come to me for is because I've made more mistakes than I can possibly count, and correcting those has led me to that style. And as I say, I've not done any training. This has just been me going out, buying a camera, fiddling about with it, not getting as good work, buying more gear, upgrading it, and continuing on with that. And I've done that over and over again. And if you want to start photography, that's all you need to do. Go and buy some gear. A lot of it's not even that expensive. That's another example. And my gear doesn't matter. This is what this illustrates. What camera you buy is irrelevant. A camera is a camera. If it works for you, and if you buy the gear that works in the scenarios you're looking for, then that's all you need. If anyone says you're wrong because of the gear you bought, then they are wrong, because it's not about ticking boxes. Otherwise, it's not creative anymore. It's just doing a checklist. It's like going into the supermarket and just running your, or if you're working in a supermarket running people shopping through all day, there's nothing creative about that. It's just doing a repetitive process, and that's not what I think good photography is. If you're going to use photography as a storytelling tool, then it needs to tell a story, it needs to create a narrative. And if you're just ticking boxes where this fits in the middle of a grid, this is the right exposure, you're not getting that across. And this is my gig gear. I've got more gear than this, but essentially this is it. A flash that costs £60, a remote trigger that costs £7, a prime lens that I use more than anything else that cost me £80, a camera body that cost about £500, and a big ultralight lens that cost me £400. A few SD cards that might cost me about 20 quid each, and that's it. That is less than some camera bodies cost that I use now to help me make money and tell stories. Anybody that tries to talk you out of it through you've got the wrong gear, you've not got enough money, is wrong, and they're not somebody you should listen to. If you can pick up a camera and go out and start trying to tell stories with it, then you're heading in the right direction. The thing with gig photography though is it's a unique animal. All photography is based off of your sort of 3 elements, which are your ISO, which is your film speed, your shutter speed, and your aperture. Controlling those 3 things is what creates your picture. Unfortunately for gig photography, what you need is a low ISO for high quality, a really wide aperture to let all the light in, and a really fast shutter speed. Those 3 things don't automatically go together. But if you ever want to take photography in any kind of scenario where you're taking it photojournalistically, i.e. you're not in a studio, you've not got all the light in the world, and you've not got the time, then these are the 3 things you have to think about, and the only way to get to grips with them is to go out and do them. Most of the gig photography I first shot, I wouldn't want to show somebody now compared to what I can do, because I didn't understand this. In fact, I'm not even convinced that I totally do, but I kind of know what, I've shot in enough venues in Glasgow now that I know kind of what works in each one, and that seems to be just about getting me by. But I went down to shoot a music festival recently. I was invited down to shoot a music festival in Kent, based off of just working myself, not with any weight of publication behind me, just my own wee blog with 500 subscribers and what I've done. And that was hugely eye-opening. I didn't have the gear for it. I wasn't sure how to shoot in the middle of the day with the sun shining, because usually I'm shooting in tiny clubs in Glasgow where the guy thinks that one light facing the back is the best way to light a stage. And that's it. And that's at a point where people think, we want this guy to come down and photograph our festival. And I'm still making all these mistakes. And this is my approach to it sort of business-wise. I do it because I love to do it, and I've become good at it. And that's why I love it. But nothing is for free. But not everything is necessarily for money. For example, I'm going on tour with a band in November to create tons of content for them across a week period. They can't afford to pay me, say, £200 a day to create all this content, but they will cover my expenses, they will keep my watermark and everything, and they will expose me in the same way to other bands. That's okay. If somebody can't pay you, that's fine, but they need to do something in return for you, whether that's the correct tag in the right social media, whether that's they come back to you for your next thing. With a lot of bands, for example, I can't make money shooting bands live, because I got into shoot gigs first by contacting PR and saying, I'll come and shoot photos and I'll give them to you for your band. So I got in for free and I can do that. If I start charging people, I price myself out the market. They might like my photos, but young Billy will be free and give them everything, whereas I'll demand money and not give them everything. So if I shoot a band live now, they get 20 photos and they get them watermarked, and that's it. They have them, they can use them then for whatever they want. They want unwatermarked ones, they pay for them. They want ones for a t-shirt, they pay for that. And it all depends upon what they want it for. There is a trade-off for money. You don't have to always make it about money, but you need to make sure you're getting something. If you're good at something, nobody should be asking you to do that for free, unless they're your family, and even then, they should probably be giving you an extra Christmas present or something. Like, if you're good at something, you should be doing it for free. And there's ways to do this. The idea of trade only being for money in a creative term is ridiculous. I don't think anybody should think like that. I think if you do, you're going to close off opportunities, because, for example, one of my friends' bands, I'm the only photographer now that works with them, because I've known them, they're my friends, and I've proven that work. I do all the promo shots, I've done their album art for their upcoming EP, we're going on tour with them early next year, and that's me set. They will pay me for all that, they'll come to me to do that over anybody else, because I've built that relationship with them, and that's the key, building relationships with people, because you can create the content that they want. And in fact, that's the most rewarding part. I don't get to shoot bands as big as some of the photographers I met down at this music festival, for example, because they go and work for a website that's got 30 odd contributors, they write poorly written news stories, poorly written reviews, but because they get all the hits from all these free volunteers, they can go shoot these big bands. Now they can do that, but they don't get the work I get, because I've worked with these bands and built it up. I get to go on tour bands, they'll find it difficult to do anything beyond go and shoot 2-3 nights a week at their local venue. And I think that's key. If you want to create compelling storytelling, you want to get involved with people and tell that story. That's what folk journalism is about, to me, is telling that story. So you need to get in the environment with them, and to a certain extent with photography, just turning up and taking pictures of the thing isn't the same as when I get all access for the band and I can go on stage behind the drummer and shoot that, or I can shoot them backstage preparing, or I'm able to go into the rehearsal room or they're building up to something and do some candid shots in there, instead of just turning up 15 minutes before the band takes to the stage, shooting them playing. You get 100 photos of the guy standing doing this, 100 photos of the guys doing that, and that's you. Any photographer can turn up and do that. What you want to do if you want to use photography compellingly is tell a story that somebody else isn't. And back to the watermarking and branding thing. Watermarks are the worst thing. This is my watermark, this is on the bottom left hand corner. Every photo I put online, it's massive, it's based on my face, it's ugly, right? It's ridiculous. But if a band say to me, oh yeah, we'll tag your stuff, and then they don't tag it, but I send them the photos and they spell my name with 2 L's and McMillan instead of 1 L and McMillan, that doesn't do me any favours, because somebody might like that work, but they've not found me. Now ideally, the way it should work is that my photography is so good that somebody sees that and goes, I want to work with that guy. It doesn't always work like that. You need to make it easy for people to find you. I would love to get to the point where I don't have to put this on things, but at the moment I do, because you can't trust people a lot of the time. And often it's just through carelessness to tag you correctly, especially if you're doing it the yellow. I'm doing that with a lot of underground bands, especially kind of punk rock bands and things like that. They don't have a lot of resources, they're not paying you for everything. You need to be able to brand yourself without relying on people to do it. And a watermark, unfortunately, is the best way to ensure that's always there. As it stands though, mine is still in the corner. If you want to crop it out, you can, but I'm also relying on people being lazy and not doing that. But I think it's important, if you're going to encourage people to use you to help them, you want to encourage people to use you to help them tell their story, then you have to make sure that they know it's you that can help them do that. And the importance of a watermark and that kind of branding, particularly for social media, because if somebody tags you incorrectly or in the wrong thing, that's still there. Somebody might still Google Ginger Snap Scotland and they'll come across my stuff. They'll always find that. I think that's important. It'd be great to just put your image up and let it do all the talking, but it's so crowded now, you can't afford to do that until you're at a level where you've got so much work coming in. If somebody tags you in the wrong thing, it doesn't matter, because in my case, the next band is take me on tour in 2 weeks' time. The important social media is you need to choose your platforms. I use 3. I use Facebook. I don't even use it massively effectively because the algorithms are so difficult to guess that it's just used as an organic thing. Share photos on it, tag people in it. Being a one-man band, sort of, for lack of a better word, I don't have the resources to pour money into advertising and stuff like that. If you're a larger company, that would be ideal. There are ways to manipulate it because I do that in my actual job as well. But for the purposes of what I'm doing, it's not worth it except to put a few photos up from my set, tag the musicians in them if I'm friends with them, and then build. If I do that, normally we're talking an extra 5 likes per gig if I can put them up that way. But Facebook image compression is terrible. It's not the best way to see your photos, so you don't want to put too many on there. Or if you do, you want to use it to drive them to your website, your blog, publication, whatever, where they can actually see it and they'll get some of the traffic. Twitter is great for interacting with people because you can build a conversation and a relationship. That's what I tend to use that for. It's for talking with a band, saying I'm going to go see a show, saying I'm really looking forward to it, or blah, 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 whatever. That's good for that. That's, I think, the most personable form of communication. Facebook's a bit too loud and noisy. Twitter's a bit more personal, even though there's so many people on it. But it does help build that. Instagram's the best thing for getting your photos out there and building likes. If I hashtag correctly and get people to like it, tag the musicians in it properly, I can start to build. From shooting that festival in August, I think I've got another 100 likes since. And I usually pick up another 2 or 3 a day at the moment. And it's just to make sure I try and share a photo a day if I can. If I've got one more share, if I've not shot a gig for a few weeks and I've not got to do one more sharing, then it doesn't matter. It's all about the quality. I want people to come back because I'm good. If I had unlimited resources, do stuff every day, whatever. But the reality is, you've got to kind of gauge it, how it works for you. If you're doing what I'm doing, shooting on the side, gauge it around the way it doesn't burn you out on it, and it still keeps your name out there. If you've got unlimited resources, then use them all the time, because it will keep you in people's mind's eye. And these, I think, are the 3 key ones for photography anyway. There's things like Flickr and stuff. Your photos look amazing in Flickr. Nobody goes on it apart from other photographers. So if you want to push your own ego of other photographers, use that. If not, it's not a huge thing for me. There's so many platforms to choose from, but I think those 3, if you utilise them, you'll get really compelling storytelling using images, because they'll kind of hit your audience in a variety of ways. Facebook likes where people quite often come and contact you. Twitter builds your exposure, and Instagram's where you actually show off your photos to people who are really into photographs. And your website, see if you're doing any photography, you do have a website, so go build one now and then come back. There's no way you should be doing anything photographic related and not have a website. You need one because it's your portal to build your own brand, your own personality, and get people to come to you and you to display yourself in your own way. You're not going through a publication who might run it through a different light. You're not having to go through all the noise of social media. Anybody that comes to your website is coming there and seeing just your stuff, and you can control it in that way. I would recommend doing things like prices and stuff on the website, anything that might throw somebody away, but they want to get an idea of you, an idea of what you can do and what you're about. You need that in any kind of creative storytelling thing that you're going to say to somebody. They want you to tell that story, You need them to be able to understand what you're about immediately. And your own platform that you can control in every way. I can't think of a better way to do that. Websites are key, because your website, let's say Facebook image compression is terrible, so I may put up 10 photos from my gig, unless it's a particular gig where I'm going to get a lot of Facebook exposure. I shot a final show for a band that were quite big in Glasgow, so it was, let's get those up on Facebook out the way everybody wants to see them. It's just a normal show, got 5 best ones, and in the caption for each there's a link leading to my blog. I've written a wee review of the show, and there's another 10-15 photos in there, all on the high quality that I can build on something like a WordPress or a Squarespace platform. So websites are easy to build. They're not difficult. There's so many themes out there, something like WordPress, Squarespace, you can get on it for free. Build your platform the way you want it to be, or even reach out to people who will do it for you for not a lot of money. I think that's key. You need to be able to tell a story and give people a platform where they can read that story. Your own website is the best place to do that, unless you're working through a publication and stuff. But even then, you want to hold on to stuff that you can use your website to expose that even more. But if a publication takes your photos and they take 3, and you've shot 25 amazing photos, you don't want to keep the other 22 hidden. You want to use them for something else at some other point. Your own website is a platform that you can utilise any way you want at any time to help build your brand. And that is pretty much it. This wee cartoon here, this is the end goal. This is what you want. When somebody can buy gear that's much better than yours, but it doesn't equate to the kind of photographs that you're taking. It's not about gear. It's about the stories you can tell and how you can tell it. And the gear doesn't matter if you learn how to use it properly. My gear is definitely still consumer level. It's not pro level, none of it. None of it's pro level. It's a crop sensor camera. The lens I use the most costs £80. Like that's less. That is like less than half my week's wages. That cost me to buy that, and it's what I use more than anything. And now I'm able to use my photography to make money and travel the country and go and shoot some of my favourite bands in the world doing really unique things. And I've probably spent just over £1,000 maybe to do that in terms of gear. That's the importance of capturing your images, building your own style around it. It's not about anything to do with gear or natural talent or anything. It's hard work, perseverance, and learning your craft. And that's essentially all I know about it. Don't have anything else.